life for late night, get shit right. When I take flight, I get paid, no sick days. My outfits don't switchblade, don't sniff J, but I blow drone. Bank on no code, still ride with that phone. Don't let my P.O. know. Bad white bitch, blue thick, I'm iced tea, she Coco. Got another bitch, your bitch, her ass fat face so. No paper trail, no phone call, no email. Life for late night, bitch, shit. That fat button, low head, but since slow mo. Hey, purple lady, cool, that's all I do. Man, I strive to roll my devil, nigga, my shoot. Man, we be cool, we just highlight. Oh, margarita, my leader, the strongest tag around. Fish out there, I don't know, we been dodging for a hobby. We kick it how we kick it. No, you get it how I live it. Chick, can't resist it, can't get them million out my business. Bro, you know me, you know I be. Stuck at that door, that's all I see. I G-O-G-T-I-T. I won't stop. Also won't quit. Shine like no other. You know, so much shit like that. Crying lifestyle, super bad. You know, if I want it, then I got it. If I don't get down, I got it. Stay out of my head. I'll tell them, I'll say to them, stay out of my head. I give it to give me second big and sit, see, man, I jack out. I jack out. I jack out. I jack out. Go. 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 Let's get it. This that go and get it. With no hesitation. This that never quit. Got that elevation. This that process. This that in the making. This that started from the bottom. This that motivation. This that opportunity. Me in preparation. All I know is win. Feel like Gary Pay. This that process.
All right, let's get it started. Levels of Mastery, hosted by Master Pyro. Let's go.
My crib, you see my energy on 10. So I gotta wipe you down with day before I let you in.
Let's get started. Put the camera on. See everybody, time to join. What's up, everybody? Whoa.
You know what I'm about. We can't take no break, not today. We got moves to make. They cannot dictate the moves we make. So you choose the way. Meditate before I set my date. So I'm still straight. No excuse when it comes to your goals. You gonna find a way. If you never quit when times get hard, you're gonna elevate. It's gonna happen when it's supposed to happen. It ain't never late. Don't you worry about when it's gonna happen. You just preparate. I'm just trying to see my niggas win. I'm trying to motivate. Keep working on yourself like every day, don't take no days off. If you stay true to everything you want, watch how it pays off. Working on my dreams like I'm afraid of getting laid off. Work on inner peace and wipe that pain you feel fade off. Just that go and get it. You no hesitation. Just that never quit. That elevation. Just that process. Just that in the making. That started from the bottom, this that motivation, this that opportunity, me in preparation. All I know is win. Feel like Gary Pay. The process, this that in the making, this that started from the bottom, this that motivation.
All right, man. Let's get it going. Whoa. What's going on, everybody? This is Master Pyro tapping in on Levels of Mastery on IMC TV, live stream, YouTube. Man, this is always a pleasure to be here, like I always say every week, because, you know, there's always an opportunity to grow. There's always an opportunity to express yourself at the highest ability that you possibly can. And this is my segment that I get to share for IMC TV as far as my expression, this path that I'm walking, and how I choose to exercise this these abilities that I've gathered through the IMC Nation teaching the AZD process. That's what Levels of Mastery is about. Everybody that shows up, everybody that watches this, whether it's live or pre-recorded, you know, I assume that you are seeking the next level of your mastery in life. Like, what else are we doing? We are mastering the way how we live. We're getting better in how we live, for another word. I like the word mastery because it elevates me, right? It's like a word that charges me, right? So you got to find what your word is, right? And I'm here, but whatever word that is for you, to some degree, that is another relative term that we use here as far as the evolution process. And I'm here to speak on that. I'm here to share about, how I'm using this this mental technology, if you will, the ACD process. Today we got my brother Zay on. We have my brother Luna on right here on Zoom. Shout out to my brothers here that's in Base 5 Phoenix. It's gonna be very powerful. Today's topic, or the title, if you will, is mindset of a winner, or being a winner, what it means to be a winner. I think that there's a lot of misconceptions about being a winner, what it takes, and the level of commitment, overall, what it takes to be a consistent winner. And I want to dive into it because, first things first, that you got to change your perspective on life overall. Like, I imagine, right, the individual that decides to be an Olympic candidate in any kind of sport, right? Or I would imagine anybody that seeks out to do something great, something more than what they, a lot of people tend to achieve. Prior to them doing that, they were living a certain way, right? Their lifestyle was a certain way, their mindset was a certain way. And then the moment their mind shifted into, hey, that's possible for me to accomplish, which is like very high level, at that same moment, they got to change their perspective. Their perspective cannot be the same. They have to literally let go of everything prior to that idea, because everything prior to the idea doesn't will not add on to that accomplishment that they want to do. And that's, at the end of the day, that's what we got to really worry about, man. Like, yo, what are we really doing on a day-to-day basis that's helping us push towards our goal? And how are we going to keep on staying consistent on it? And I believe the first thing we got to do is change our perspective towards it. And changing the perspective of that, as we are walking towards this, this goal, or this thing of wanting to be achieved, we got to give up the idea that we're not going to stumble a little bit, or we're not going to have this, or I'm not going to have moments of trying to figure things out. We're not going to have this moment of, things are going to be so smooth. And to the degree, I just think that that's just the ego that's in the way, right? If you really think that you're going to walk on God's green earth every day, and you just don't think you're going to be tested, you don't think things are going to be challenging for you, you don't think you're going to have moments of like, damn, I don't know what to do, and think you're going to give up on it and still be able to achieve it, like, come on, that's like a recipe for disaster, if you ask me, towards a goal that is very attainable. Every goal, because like a lot of goals that we're seeking out to do is not like, it's not like nobody else is doing them. That's the whole thing. And don't get me wrong, there are some goals that people may have that's never been done before, but that's great. That's amazing. That's the gift of being a pioneer. And a lot of times, you got to be the pioneer within your own community, or your own group of individuals or friends that you have, or even family. You got to be the pioneer to say, you know what? Everybody's been walking this path. I choose to walk this way. And yeah, it's going to be a little difficult because I got to create it. There's nobody telling me step left, step right, because nobody else has walked this path before. Now, granted, this is why it's very important to be in connection with a mentor, or somebody that is, which I've mentioned this plenty of times in probably some of my other lives, because it is essential to know where you're going by having somebody of somewhat of an example, or somebody that inspires you. So keeping things around you that inspire you is a key essential. Now, a lot of the things that I'll be saying, or I'll be covering, it's probably for most people that has somewhat kind of knowledge of self-improvement. I'm not saying anything new. For people that have no idea about self-improvement and how to really heal yourself, this is probably like mind-blowing stuff for the most part. But on a regular, like a standard base, these are things that you already know. Now, the thing is that how you're applying it, how you're getting the results of it, is always going to dictate the next thing, because it takes results to find out if you're going the right way or not. If you're not getting results, are you going the right way about it? Now, there are certain things that things take time to grow and happen. Like, that's one thing I'm learning about the yoga pose, right? Doing yoga. Like, every time I do the poses, I got to remember that even though I'm not doing the full-on pose or whatever, it's not even about that. What I'm learning is that, am I doing the form right? Am I breathing right? Am I growing inside the posture correctly? And once I be able to really hone in that idea of like, okay, it's not really about me doing the full-on stretch or getting it, even though I'm aiming towards that. Like the instructor says, the most important thing is that you're doing the form to the best of your ability, because the form, the technique, is what's going to heal you. Now, it's the same thing when you're building a strategy in your life, or you're building a certain avatar, a character, or a new way of living. It's going to take time for you to grow into the posture or grow into the form that you're creating. However, as long as you have techniques that's proper, that keeps you in alignment, that's what matters. I think that's like the confusion that people have, where it's like, well, you know, I'm doing it. I'm taking the action of doing the thing. It should just be working. It's like, no, it doesn't work like that, right? It just doesn't work like that. Yes, you have to be doing it. However, you got to practice that technique to a way where it happens on its own, right? It's the same thing I learned with one of the postures that I did with yoga. Like, there was a posture when I first started, it was very difficult to get in. Now, this is like my sixth class, going into my 7th class now. I did one yesterday, now I'm doing one tomorrow. And I noticed when I went into the yoga postures yesterday, they were more easy for me to flow into. Okay, but the first 3-4 times, man, it wasn't that easy. So whatever you're going, so for example, like today, let's say today we're like, you know what, today I'm gonna change X, Y, and Z. I'm gonna change my communication skills. I'm gonna change how I make eye contact. I'm gonna change how I walk. I'm gonna change my posture. I'm gonna change how many times I go to the gym, whatever it is that you're working on, right? For me, is I'm in the phase of like downloading things in my mind. So I'm in the phase of like studying, like personal studies, like having certain books and things of that nature. Hold on a second, I gotta charge my laptop. Boom. Quick fix, easy fix. Get it just charged up. And the reason why I'm highlighting this is because when you're developing the mindset of a winner, and I say developing because, listen, I mean, there's a very few people that just was just born on some other shit, right? But for the people that have to really work on ourselves and really work on the truth of what we're trying to work on, it takes time to adapt to a certain mindset, which is like a winning mindset to yourself. And a winning mindset is staying consistent on your word, first and foremost. Like, you got to be realistic. Like, for example, I was shopping for a yoga studio, and I was like, man, I'll just go for the unlimited. But now I started thinking like, man, I shouldn't really pay for the unlimited right now, because I know my body can't take going every day to yoga. Like 4 or 5 days a week, bro, that's a lot, man. I'm not there yet. So I'm being realistic. Okay, I can go 3 times a week until I warm up to go 4 times a week, until I can go 5 times a week, right? So I'm taking it in steps. But to take things in steps, you can measure yourself properly. And a lot of times when we're in this process of living and we're in the process of winning on these tasks in our life, we begin to miss the steps that it takes to stay there, stay consistent, like reading. Right now, I'm like, okay, I have time during the morning and I have time during the night for me to read. And that's been essential for me to evolve at the level I need to evolve, because I gotta put words that are formulated a certain way to help me grow my mindset the way I want to grow my mindset. It's like, it's something that is just so important for us to stay locked in on, because if we're not consistently feeding our minds on what we needed to feed it, something else is going to pull the direction where it needs to go. Like, there's always enough things going on that can pull your mindset away from you or distract you. So a winner starts to break down steps that is necessary for you to win. And that's why I kind of have, not kind of, but this is why I have my levels of mastery by level 1, 2, 3, 4, because it's steps that you got to take. You got to grow on these different principles before you start to win. You got to plan things. You got to set things out. You got to know how you're going to do it. You got to be organized, to be disciplined. That's the next key of a winner. To be organized is to be disciplined. You can't be disciplined if you're not organized. Wherever you see disorganization somewhere in your life, I guarantee you see some kind of discipline being lacked of. That's why part of a lot of my things, I make sure my room is clean at a certain time, because having a clean room helps you keep more organized, which helps you stay more disciplined. It's the little things that make the difference. Folding your blankets before you leave your room, tidying up your room before you leave. That act alone does something, because now you're somebody that when you go into an environment, you stage your environment to help keep things organized. And that's something that people relate to, or some people respond to. They fall in line, they fall in order to your order. And when you're in collaboration with other men that hold a high order in their life, it's very complementary in business, in networking, in growing your social circle. Because at the end of the day, everything that I've learned, everything that I've attained is to grow my social circle. It's to grow my value, in other words. You can't grow in a social circle if you don't grow in value. So it's essential to what? Invest in your state of mind with what you read, with how you feed your body, how you work out. Because if not, you're falling into the same redundant system or flow or cycle that a lot of people have rolled into. They spend a lot of time on something that's not making them money. They spend a lot of time on something that's not moving their business forward. And then they wonder why they're not getting the same results. Why they're wondering why every month is the same result. It's something that I'm learning right now. I'm not going to give the source because I'm still studying it, but basically it's the understanding of a lot of those activities and things that you're doing that you know is holding you back. It really comes from a perception you have of yourself, or an image you have of yourself. The moment you begin to shift the image in your mind about how you see yourself, how you grow, how you make money, how you work out, how are you going to physically take care of yourself, how are you going to mentally take care of yourself, how are you going to emotionally take care of yourself? Like, once you answer all these questions from a new perspective and new image of yourself, it's the same moment your life begins to unfold differently, because now there's this different vibration that begins to emulate into the universe. Your environment is in connection to you. Your environment is responding to you based on how you're responding to it. So if you're responding to it from a lower frequency, that things are going bad or things are not going to go right because this person is not this person is not that, you're allowing that to be of an influence to you overall, which will lessen your output. At the end of the day, like Stoicism says, it's not about what they are doing or what the universe is doing, because you have no control of that. But one thing you have complete control of is yourself. So don't limit yourself because of the limitation of others and what they put on themselves in relation to you. That's something I'm learning very deeply, because listen, I've applied that on so many times going into this industry that I'm in, being a filmmaker. I mean, I had no choice. If I wanted to sustain my art, I had to learn how to allow people to think what they want to think and be an example. So how much of an example of your word are you is the next thing. See, a winner has no problem exercising his language, because they understand to exercise his language is to exercise its power. Your power comes from your language. It comes from your word. All right. So before I move forward, I'm going to go ahead and give everybody a moment to tap in. If they got any insights, any comments, or anything like that, go ahead and tap in. If not, I will move forward. I just came from the gym not too long ago. Did my sauna session, trying to get this water in. Man, one of my best practices I've done is doing like yoga therapy or like hot room therapy. Oh, I love that stuff, man. I love sweating like that. I love the cycle of water going through my system. Man, it's so powerful, man. Like I see how much it's changed my body. It changed your body chemistry. And that's something that we can probably get into a little bit before we move on. So as a winner, you start to see that these elements are very important to your survival. How you take care of your body, how you choose to heal your body, how you choose to recover your body, how you choose to recover and address your physical, mental, and emotional states is all integrated in how you are going to truly climb this evolution ladder. Like, man, like right now, I would say literally, look, I'm 32 years old right now. And I do think I'm probably in the best shape in my life right now. Because what I'm realizing is that before I was doing things to do things, but I didn't have the same intention that I have now. You know, I had the intention of truly healing my body, truly healing my state of mind, you know, detoxing things, being aware of how to detox, not just only physical, like food detox, but how to mentally detox yourself. How do you emotionally detox yourself? How do you even do that? Right? I mean, it's easy enough to say, yeah, just don't talk to somebody or don't be around somebody, but how do you truly detox, have a mental detox? So you can clear out your field that comes out from your mind, right? Your mind has its own electromagnetic field. Your heart has one as well. And is arguably your heart has a bigger electric magnetic field than your brain does, right? So taking care of your heart, which in turn is taking care of other systems in the body to help charge these things in your body, which is like, it comes across, right? It comes across in your communication, it comes across in your living, it comes across in how things relate to you. Now, as a master, we start seeing that where are we in these levels? Like, where are you in that level of healing or recovering your body? Where are you in that level of fixing your emotional state, you know, going through breakups, after breakups, or even getting into a relationship, talking to new relationships? This is very important. And you know, I myself in these talks, I'm gonna start growing into different topics, right? I'm gonna start talking more about relationships. I want to get into more relationship stuff, right? I want to get into more social dynamic things. But first, we're almost done building this core level. If you see now, we're like on level 7 or level 8 as far as episodes on this series. And I can see it going into that. Right now, we're still on the individual. We're still building the individual. And before you even get into relationships and network, you gotta solidify a state of mind of winning. You gotta know that you gotta be confident behind what you're selling or what your service is, knowing that your service is that much of a help to anybody that needs it. It's not a little thing, right? It's easy to get caught up on, well, it's oversaturated and everybody's doing this and everybody is doing that. And how is it that somebody's going to pay for you for this when somebody else is charging that? Like, listen, no matter what scale you go on that, there's always going to be a scale to play on that. So you can't play that game. What you can do is measure yourself and knowing what's valuable and what's true to you in that state that you're in until you grow and see that, no, this is worth more. I have to charge more, or I have to do more. I have to connect with higher level people. You start seeing that where you are in your level of network, you need to go another level up. But is it just that easy to just go outside your house and go level up like that? Of course not. You got to have a plan. You got to know who's there. You got to know how to get around that, how to communicate that. At the end of the day, to communicate that, you got to communicate that to yourself. How can you communicate being a high value individual if you haven't fully communicated that and convinced yourself of being a high level individual? So take the time that it needs to fix your internal dialogue, fix your internal state of mind first before you go out there presenting yourself. Now, I'm not saying you got to wait till it's perfect. I'm not saying wait until, you know, you're capable of going on the next movie premiere and shit like that. Like, no, I'm not saying that, bro. What I'm saying is that put in the work, practice. Because every winner, everybody that has taken the path to become the greats or the highest level has fully committed to the idea of practicing, right? Doing repetitions, in other words. So why do we limit it? Let me just ask you this. Why do we limit repetitions of something only in a physical standpoint? Like a basketball player, the repetition doing the shot, or a boxer, repetition hitting the bag, or a dancer doing repetitions doing dances, or a bodybuilder, somebody doing martial arts, they do repetitions of the move. However, why do we not take time to do repetitions in our mind? Why do we not take moments to see ourselves in that light and do repetitions of that? Like run a scene in your mind and do 5 reps of that. Like exercise your mental fortitude like that. Sit there and imagine yourself waking up in the morning, going in the shower, washing off your body, becoming clean, cleaning your face, putting on fresh clothes, the clothes that you want to wear, grabbing your favorite beads, your favorite necklace, putting on your earrings, avataring up, and imagine what it feels like to grab the keys of your car, and imagine what it is to walk out your house and get into the car you want and going for a drive the way you want to go to a drive, to go to a building or a house that you want to go to, that you do your service to the world. But practice that. Do the rep of that once, twice, 3 times, and learn how to relax. If it's something that I've been learning, I want to share this with you guys before I begin to close it out. It's something that I've been learning about how to break old paradigms and how to break old ways of thinking. And it was saying, or even how to break old, like if you've been hypnotized to some degree, which we all have been hypnotized to some degree, and all the programming and shit like that. But they were saying that one way for sure to break that is to be relaxed, is to practice being relaxed. How to relax your body, how to relax your state of mind. The release of whatever that is, and when you relax, it helps break these patterns. This is why yoga is so important. Meditation is so important. Breathing exercise is so important. Cardio exercise is so important, because these things help keep breaking old patterns and help a good structure to stack on new patterns that you want. You got to unlearn and relearn. People want to, that's another thing of a winner, man. Listen, as a winner, you have to learn, you have to learn how to unlearn the shit you came in with. Right? We all seen it like in Karate Kid and shit like that, where he had to give up his old ways of thinking to be able to do the moves, right? You have to give it up. You can't have a full cup going to a teacher. You can't have a full cup trying to learn something. You have to learn how to empty your cup. What does that mean, to empty your cup? You got to empty your mind. You got to approach everything like the first day. It's one thing they say in yoga. Treat the pose, treat the yoga like it's the first time you hearing it, with the repetition that you have already accomplished with it. And go one more stretch, one more rep, one more breath, like all these things. Now, this is all these things. If you take notes, or if you have taken, if you go through this video again and you happen to take notes, I highly advise or suggest that those notes alone, you read them in the morning, use them as affirmations, or use them as just points of reference on where you want your day to go. Because at the end of the day, you got to have that winner spirit, that warrior spirit. And one way to gain that and obtain that and stay in that is to exercise on a day-to-day basis. Treat yourself today as that version of yourself that you see at that high level. Do not treat your life any different. Don't limit yourself. Only you can do that for yourself. Nobody else can give you that. Nobody gave me my ability to create videos and content and being on live and speak my state of mind like this. I had to earn this within myself. So if there's something that you're struggling in, you gotta remember it's already available to you. There's just that phase of challenges and repetition that needs to be about so it can solidify in reality. So if you're in that phase, just remember that you're in that phase. Believe in the natural law. Believe in the law of transmutation, things that evolve through time. The natural law of planting a seed. If you plant a seed, it shall grow. So if you're in that phase of like figuring things out, okay, but consistently do that. Ask questions. Seek somebody out that knows more than you. Like right now, I'm looking for somebody to teach me more editing for photography, teach me more editing and some videography as well. Why? Because even though I'm as good as I am, it doesn't mean I know everything. It doesn't mean there's not more room for me to grow. That's where you have to have a humble spirit. It is always going to be somebody better than you in something. Like, come on, we all know this. You don't got to be older than fucking 12 to know that. But yeah, we still walk around here as adults with these big ass egos, like nobody is better than us, and then whatever the fuck we think we're better, we're good in. Yes, you're great in something. Yes, you're good at something. Yes, you could be almost one of the best in your immediate circle. But there's always somebody out there that's better than you in that spent more time in that had different awareness of knowledge about that topic, that can give you the advantage or disadvantage. Like there's so many ways it can go about. However, where you want, not where you want, but where you want to get out of these things is where it's going to really come about. And that's one thing that I'm seeing. So as we move forward on this path of levels of mastery, this is a solidified step in it, is being a winner. Knowing that you're going to have moments of failure, sessions of failure, right? You're going to have moments of upsets, moments of, disagreements amongst the team. You're going to be moments of, dark clouds and the moments of storms coming about, moments of challenges, moments of people bumping heads. But the sooner you can accept that as part of the totality of success, that's the totality of achieving what you want, you begin to find the leverage of these things that come in that almost seem that they're meant to hold you back, but it's just where everybody failed at. That's just where I see it. You don't have to be held back there. You don't have to, you don't have to behave as if you're not capable of doing it because everybody else is jumping ship before they got there. No, take that path, man. Yeah, I'm speaking from somebody that has taken the risk and is growing in it, because it's a risk that I truly know that I was capable of doing. I knew for a fact I can do it. In this art of living, in this art of seduction, in the art of business, in the art of friendship, you have to remove doubt. Doubt cannot be in the same room with these things. It can be, because people are doing it, but that's why they get the results they get, because there's too much doubt in their communication. They doubt themselves to say, hi, hey, what's up? They doubt themselves to say, hey, man, have a good day. They doubt if they should have done that. Then if they do it, they have some kind of regret, like right after, some kind of regret. I shouldn't have said like that. Maybe. There's one way where you can, there's one way where you can assess yourself. It's one thing to assess yourself, and it's another thing to have regret on oneself because of what you did. Put yourself in the state of mind of assessing yourself when you judge certain actions that's taking place. But don't do the other shit where you're tearing yourself down because you don't know if that was the right way to say hey or not hey, or do this and do that. Because then you're doing more damage than you are gaining out of the situation. All right. So that's my time for today. That is all that I have to share for you guys today as far as this, what it takes to shift into being a winner. I might extend this to the next one. I have a feeling I am, because I think this is very important. I don't think I gave it all that I need to share. I don't think it's complete. And I believe I'm going to share all that needs to be shared before it's complete, before I'm moving on. So being a winner on a path, something like that. I'm going to figure out the title by the end of today, but you gotta adopt the state of mind of being a winner and what it takes, and you have to be able to face all challenges that come with it. Don't take any project, don't take any job, don't take any purpose, don't pick any of that up without fully accepting the totality of that thing. Meaning, if everything goes bad, we're still going. If everything gives up, we're still going. If it's just me and another person, we're still going. If it's just me, I'm still going. You gotta have that spirit as a winner. If my fingers start to give out on me, I'm still going. If my foot starts to get, I'm still going. David Goggins, right? You gotta have these inspirations to keep you going. There's an example out there, man. There's somebody already doing it. I just fail to believe that I'm living in the same timeline of other individuals that are getting what I want and I can't get it. What the fuck? That's the bullshit game to play. And a lot of it you start to realize is just you, and it's just your own perception of yourself. It's your own concept of yourself that is holding you back. The quicker you can unlearn that, and the quicker you can relearn, you can relearn something that can truly evolve you like that. That's what we're here exploring. Here on Levels of Mastery on IMC TV, we're exploring these ideas, and I'm just sharing the fact that that is real, because I'm only speaking from a place that I'm living in, that I'm truly experiencing life. But if these are things that excite you, these are things that you know that you need to tap in with, I believe that you can find people that's really tapped into that. And if you want to tap in with me on that, I have a Telegram group called Levels of Mastery. I also have my IG. You can DM me there and we can chop it up, and I can send you to all my group and live messages, because that's the best way. Like, the best time I talk about these things is when I go live. I don't go out on my day-to-day and correct people on how they think they should do that and do this and that, because it's not my job to go police the world like that. Like, God already got it figured out already. He's already created, like, come on. I don't have anything to do on that. What I can do is be an example of the version of man should be in this world. That's the best I can do. And how would I want a man to live in this world? I would want him to have a lot of confidence behind his actions. I want him to not doubt what he needs to get done. The moment I put doubt in his mind is the same moment he won't be able to accomplish anything for himself. And you are ruler of your physical possession of your body. So treat it as such. Don't forget that you are a spiritual being living in a physical body. This is IMC Nation Master Power tapping in on Levels of Mastery, the mindset of being a winner. This is part 1. I will be having part 2 next week. Y'all know the vibes. IMC TV, I appreciate you guys. Salute to my brothers that tapped in with me. See you guys next.